Alright, let's do the similarity and congruence review. It says similar triangles have the same blank, but different blank. So they have the same shape, however, they have a different size. Two triangles are similar if and only if their corresponding blank are congruent. So remember, for similar, the angles are congruent, and the sides are not congruent. And I wouldn't put the word different here, I would put actually the word proportional. Okay, so now 1 and 2, these two have to do with similar, right? 3 and 4, these are going to do with congruent. So now we're thinking back to the early part of this unit. Congruent triangles have the same shape and the same size. So if two triangles are congruent, two triangles are congruent if and only if their corresponding angles are congruent and their corresponding side lengths are congruent. Alright? So, 5 and 6. If we have two fractions that are equal to each other, two proportions, we're just going to cross multiply and divide as usual. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times x is 3x. Divide by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Alright, number 6. Again, we're going to cross multiply and divide. Z times 6 is 6z. 18 times 17 is 306. Divide by 6. And I get z equals 51. Alright. Determine whether the following triangles are similar. If so, write the similarity ratio and similarity statement. Okay. So let's connect our corresponding sides. Alright, so let's go from left to right. So we'll do the new one over the original one. So I'll have 3 over 6, which equals 1/2. I'm going to have 5 over 10, which equals 1/2. I'm going to have 4 over 8, which equals 1/2. Alright, so since these are all the same, yes, they are similar. And that similarity ratio I got for each of these was 1/2. Now, if you got 2 over 1, that's okay, because it doesn't tell us which one we're going to, okay? So, in this situation, when we're not told which direction we're going, it's one of those, okay? Similar statement, triangle, what? So let's do 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc, A, B, C, squiggle, similar, triangle, 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc, D, E, F. Alright? Alright, determine whether the following are similar. Same idea. So 4 corresponds to 6, 3 corresponds to 4.5, 5 corresponds to 7.5. So let's do this. Let's get this bread. Okay, so again, we'll do right over the left. 4.5 over 3. Alright, so each of these fractions will reduce to either 3 over 2 or 1.5. Those are the same exact thing, just written as a decimal and a fraction. So they all match, so yes, these are similar. And the ratio we'll use is 3 over 2. Okay. Now if you did left over right, then you would have gotten 2 over 3, which means one of those. Okay. So the statement will make triangle. Now there's more than one answer here. We'll do MNO is similar to triangle ABC. It's not always alphabetical, but in this case it happens to be alphabetical. Okay. Next page. For the following, remember to use either the shortcut method or the full-sided method. Alright. We don't have shortcut method. It's all good. We're just going to do big and little, right? So first I'm going to outline the small triangle in red. So I got my 7 and my 15, right? Now, I'm going to redraw this big triangle. Now for the big triangle we have 11 over here, right? And for this side, let's make this look nicer. For this side right here, we have to add x and 15. So this is going to be x plus 15. Okay. So when I do this, I'm going to think little red triangle, bigger blue triangle. So 7 corresponds with 11. 15 corresponds with x plus 15. Okay? So, let's do that. 7 over 11 equals 15 over x plus 15. Okay? Nope. Better. Okay, and so we'll take that and then we're going to cross multiply. So 11 times 15 is 165. Then we have 7 parentheses x plus 15. That I need to distribute. So 165 equals 7x plus 105. If I got that right. And then we get rid of the loner, minus 105, minus 105. It's 60 equals 7x. And then I need to divide by 7. I should get 1.2 equals x. Alright. So actually, that's not right. Sometimes the calculator will goof up. So 60 divided by 8.6. Alright, there you go. If you had gotten 1.2, it's because if you look at your calculator, it says 60 divided by 7 divided by 7. Don't divide it twice. Alright, number 10. So we got x and y here. Alright, so this is going to take a lot of room. It's alright. We just have to remember what we got. So right here we got 10. Right here we got 15. And then right here we have 18. Now, for the big triangle, this whole thing is 12. This whole thing is just y. And this whole thing is x plus 15. Okay? So we need to set up two different fractions to figure out x. So let's do that. So if I'm going to go from small red triangle to big blue triangle, and I need to get x, I'm going to go from 15 to x plus 15, and then I'm also going to use 10 to 12. Those would be my two fractions that I'm going to use. Alright, let's do that. So 15 over x plus 15 equals 10 over 12. Cross multiply 15 times 12 is 180. And then when I cross multiply this, it'll be 10 parentheses x plus 15. 10 times x is 10x. 10 times 15 is 150. Bring down 180. Subtract 150. $30 equals 10x. Then we divide by 10 and we get x equals 3. Alright, now we'll do similar with y. So with y, I'm going to go from 18 to y. So 18 over y equals, and I'm going to use, once again, 10 to 12. 18 over 12, or 18 times 12, 216, equals 10 times y, 10y, divide by 10, and I get 21.6. Alright, so 18 over y, 10 over 12. Yep. Alright. So those are tougher. Sorry, there's not a lot of room on those, but you can do it. Alright, on this one, let's start off with some angles, just so I can make my life a little easier here. Angle P is 67. And remember, similar triangles. We know they're similar right here. So similar triangles have congruent angles. So what else is going to be 67 degrees on this smaller triangle? Right there, 67 degrees. Okay. And if this is 15, Then over here, angle M is going to be 15. And we could do a little math to figure out the missing angles. 67 plus 15 is 82. And then 180 minus 82 is 98. So right here we should have 98 and 98. And that would be our third angle. Alright. So we got all of our angles. We might as well answer them first. So right here, the measure of angle M is 15 degrees. Let me get this a little bigger. Okay. And so we should have degrees on all these because they are angles after all. Alright, the measure of angle N, 98 degrees, like that musical group. Angle T is 67 degrees. Angle S, 98 degrees. There's all our angles. Now, to find MP and RS, okay, I'm going to give these variables. So for MP, I'll call it X. And then for RS, I'll call it Y. So between MP, I'll put an X. Between RS, I'll put a Y. Let's make some connections here. 10.5 corresponds with Y. 7 corresponds with 2. X corresponds with 4.5. Let's make some fractions here. So if I'm looking for X first, I'll use X over 4.5 equals, and then I'm going to use my two numbers, 7 over 2. We cross multiply, 2x equals 4.5 times 7 31.5. And then divide by 2. Make sure you press Control Enter. I got 15.75 units. Alright. And then same thing for Y. So let's do 10.5 over Y equals, and it's going to be the same thing, the two numbers that are connected, corresponding, 7 over 2. Alright, and let's cross multiply. 10.5 times 2, we got 21 equals 7 times y is 7y. Divide by 7, and I get 3 equals y. Okay. Alright, I know it's lots of work. Just remember the angles are congruent and the sides are proportional. Down here, it's kind of like that assignment we did. We got Jimmy here. It says the mayor is 8 meters away from the flagpole. 2 meters away from Jimmy. The height of his eyes is 1.63 meters. And we're looking for X. So as usual, let's connect. 1.63 corresponds with X. 2 corresponds with 8. So we make two fractions. 1.63 over X equals 2 over 8. Cross multiply. 1.63 times 8. That's 13.04 equals 2x. Divide by 2, and we get 6.52 equals x. All right. On these, we want to make sure we label correctly so we can answer them. Okay, first things first on number 13, CB is congruent to FE. Put tick marks on those segments, CB, FE. Between those vertices, put the tick mark. Okay, AC and DF. So now we're going to put 2 ticks on that, between AC, between DF. These are all segments here. AB and DE, put 3 ticks. AB, DE. Alright, and they are congruent by what? Well, all 3 sides are labeled. That is side, side, side. Alright. Next one, 14. D is a midpoint of QP. So if D is the midpoint, that means QD and DP are congruent. So we'll put tick, tick. Now, this means perpendicular. And perpendicular means you're going to have right angles, right? So EQ and QP make a right angle. Put a right angle there. CP and QP make a right angle. Put a right angle there. And then we have angle QDE is congruent to angle PDC. Please remember, when you see the angle symbol, you're going to put an arc there at the middle letter. So QDE, arc, PDC, arc. And now we answer the question, what are we going to put there? CPD matches up with EQD. Order matters, right? By what? So we have an angle, then a side, then an angle. Arc, take arc. Angle, side, angle. All right. SX is congruent to RX. Put tick marks there. And wait a minute. These 2 triangles are touching. I should definitely put tick marks where they touch. All right. Okay, and this is XT bisects SXR. So XT is cutting that big angle SXR in half. So that means each of these would have to be congruent. So RXT matches SXT by what? Side angle, side. RS and DE are congruent. Angle S and angle E are congruent. Angle R, angle D are congruent. RST matches DEF by angle, side, angle. 17 is touching. Tick mark. AB and ED make right angles. And if it's on one side, it's also on the other side because that's a straight line. They're a linear pair. B is the midpoint of ED, so that means that EB and BD are congruent, so we'll put tick marks on those. Alright, so ABD matches ABE by side angle, side. So make sure you label everything correctly and make those marks. Okay, we want to be able to make a congruence statement here. We can do it. That's when we put triangle, and all the vertices is congruent to what. So let's say triangle, let's go from 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc. KLM is congruent to triangle, and then let's do 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc. CDE. You put them in matching order because order matters. 19, triangle, 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc is WYX. Oh my goodness, it's not in alphabetical order. That's okay. Congruent to triangle, 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc, UTS. It has to be that in corresponding order. Okay. Alright, so we want to make sure we do what we're supposed to do. Kind of helps us. We're going to draw ABC congruent to DEF. So ABC, and I got the same triangle right here, DEF. Let's do 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc, 1 arc, 2 arc, 3 arc, and we'll do 1 tick, 1 tick, 2 tick, 2 tick, 3 tick, 3 tick. Now I labeled all 6 things, so this will be easy to answer over here. AC corresponds with, matches up with, is congruent to DF. DE, 1 tick, matches 1 tick. AB. Notice how if there's segments, I put a segment on top. BC, 2 arc, EF, 2 tick marks. Order matters. Angle B, angle E, angle F, angle C, angle A, angle D. And that's the extent of your review. So expect to see all these types of problems on your test tomorrow. Go Cowboys, of course.